Okay, so now let's go to pad. Okay, here, where you're putting in their assets and their liabilities. When you click on to put in someone's, let's say for example, the liability, and you want to put in a car loan, and you put in their payment, their minimum payment, their interest rate, and the amount that they owe. Well, once you put all this information in, it now allows you to go back and ask them and refer them to the debt management piece, which is called asset management. So now you're able to, either refer them through your website, or if you want, you can call them and they'll give you a username and password where you can log in and put that information in yourself, and it'll create the 8-page report.
Okay,
Where,
so it does do that report.
Yes, it gives you an 8-page report for someone.
Okay.
And so now you're creating even more value.
Okay.
And what I was sharing with Sharice earlier is I would not try to do this in one close.
Right.
I would go in initially just gathering information,
Yeah,
do an
gather
initial consultation,
Right.
come back with your recommendations.
That's right.
If you have if you have your own username and password into that asset management piece, you can actually have the 8-page report printed out for them along with the 40-page report that comes out with this, because you're already gathering the information. So now you can go back and give them also a debt management program and ask them, if you can, how is it that I said, if you can eliminate your debt in half the time without refinancing your home or taking out a new loan, would you be interested in seeing what we could do for you? Well, most people are going to just naturally going to say yeah. So when they do, this is a sample of the debt report that the asset management pulls out. Okay? So for example, real quick, with this family, you want them to have a mortgage at least, because with QS2, the asset management is $3,250. That's the fee for them to be a part of the program. It's a one-time fee. Then there's a $24.95 fee every month. In order to really justify the fee, they say that it's best that they at least have a mortgage and about 3 other debts, so that the number can be this big.
So it's how much now? How much is it?
$3,250.
Okay.
And then $2,000 of that goes to the grid.
Okay.
And so, in this case, at their current rate, they're going to pay off all their debt in 25 years. And you'll see that the total debt that they'll pay, they're currently in debt $215, but they'll pay in total $380. And so here is where it breaks down. Now, the thing to really remember,
That's including the mortgage?
That's including the mortgage.
Okay.
And the thing to remember, just like the gentleman told me, is whenever you're looking at the debt and you're explaining it to the client, make sure that they understand that their debt is someone else's investment. So they need to be looking at their debt as if they were the investor behind that debt.
Now, are you putting in the interest rates along with that? That's how you get the numbers? Okay.
Absolutely. You're putting in minimum payment,
Okay.
you're putting in payoff, and interest rate,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is all the same information that we're getting in the Quantum Wealth Builder. So you see how it's easy? It makes it so easy for us to make a referral over, And so anyways, you'll see here where it breaks down on this column what the payoff term is per debt. So they're going to pay the same minimum amount for the client on the debt, but they're just going to pay it in such a way that, for example, this car will be paid off in a year and 2 months.
And it's a debt stacking technique.
Absolutely. They're utilizing all the techniques in one.
In one, okay.
And is this a built-in feature
Yes.
of the Quantum Wealth Builder?
No.
So this is outside of the Quantum Wealth
This
Builder?
is outside of the Quantum
Once you've
Wealth
done the
Builder.
Quantum Wealth Builder, okay,
then
you port that information.
You would have to port it over, or you could just make the recommendation that the client go to the website and put their information in.
So that's self-serve, they can do it themselves?
Absolutely. Well, they can go in for the referral, and the company will call them.
Okay.
And they'll do all of that over the phone for them.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to do it. But the point that I'm making is with the Quantum Wealth Builder, because you are uncovering you're looking at their complete financial picture. You're getting their mortgage information, car, credit card, student loans, homeowners insurance, so you literally have the opportunity to provide someone with a complete financial literacy education.
Wow.
and make referrals.
Wow.
And now you've become their trusted advisor. As their trusted advisor,
Yeah, 'cause you
you're
gotta do
making the recommendation. Hey, and you know that you can save them half. You know that they can pay their mortgage off in half the time. You know it only because of the way that the program is structured. It's just a matter: do they want to actually move forward with it? But this is where it really starts to get to you, is it shows you the breakdown of where all their money is going and where the majority of their debt lies. So Craig, you asked me the last time we met, well, is this something that someone can do? Absolutely they can do it. The problem is most people will tackle the credit cards, the little smaller things, but they won't see it out because you see it takes about 11 years for someone to go through. They're not going to see the program that long. They're not going to, roll that money over because they are in part using the snowball effect as well. And so most people aren't going to be that disciplined to see that through. And even if you eliminated one credit card, I mean, that's 1.7% of your debt. That's not going to really take out. And really, it's not going to take out the biggest chunk. So you're not going to have, most people are going to see that debt, the little small debt, go away in about 2 to 3 years. But it's the mortgage. Once all that little bit of debt has been taken away, all that money that was once paid to all these smaller accounts are now being applied to the mortgage.
Now, with all that they have there, is there any type of emergency savings that they incorporate with that? Because this is my deal. It's an 11-year program, and if everything remains the same, that's fine. But life situation happens, and that could actually curtail that. So if there's a major medical event that takes place, and if they're not properly prepared for that, and there's a decrease in income, that'll change that a little bit.
Right.
So does it incorporate anything, in there, like some type of savings, so they can have money on the side? Do it show that?
That's where you come in as their financial consultant, and you recommend to them the IUL. That's how you are, through this, is building the value and the credibility more for your services, and particularly showing them what the IUL could do for them. That's their safety net there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not gonna. This is strictly tackling their debt.
Right.
That's all it's doing. And what the company does is they set you up on. You open up a second account because they're not going to have anything to do with your primary account. So you're going to open up an account at a bank, and you're going to provide them with the routing number and the account number. And every 2 weeks or once a month, whichever you choose, you're going to deposit, and later on it'll tell us the amount, which is essentially the amount that you're already paying for your debt. That's the thing to remember with this, is you're not spending anymore.
No, you're using the same money that you had. That's
same money that you have.
You're just redirecting it to.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just put it in a separate account that you're going to use only for expenses. That's it. It's only to take care of the debt. This account is not going to be a working account. They're going to work out of whatever their primary account is now. You see? But what it really shows is that of the gross monthly income in this example, 18% is going towards interest, and 38% is actually going towards the debt. And that's where, for most people, they look at it and say, "Oh well, I have a good interest rate on my mortgage, so I don't need something like this." Absolutely, you need something like this, because once you get into a home, your primary concern is not what your interest rate is; it's your amortization schedule. That's what you need to be concerned about, not how much interest you're paying on each of your payments, or what you paid over the balance of the loan. The amortization is what really gets you, and it shows you, I believe, on this next. Absolutely. Well, it shows here that the amount of the debt should be no more than 38%. And so you really have to look at it as though you're invested in real estate. If you're invested in a property and you want to flip it, you can put too much money in it, and it's going to lower the amount of money that you're going to make, for the time that you put into it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. It
can turn a good investment into a bad investment if you overfund. You can do the same thing on your mortgage or taking care of all of your debt. So anyways, it then goes on to show that with the debt service, 38.5%, but then of your gross monthly income. Okay, that's what we're talking about on this particular side. It goes it shows you that if you want to maintain your standard of living, and this is where it becomes really critical for most people, is factoring in inflation, which we don't do. We're not even thinking about that when we look at our debt. So when you factor in inflation, for someone to maintain their standard of living at an inflation rate of 3%, they've got to increase their income about $10,000 annually. And we're not doing that.
Yeah, most people didn't get.
You're not going to get
in their income. It's like 1.5
There you go.
something like that. So, yeah.
There you go. Because your raise is not equivalent to the inflation rate.
Exactly.
And so this shows that, and it breaks it down here where the recommended term that they pay their debt off is in 11 years and 8 months, where they'll have a net program savings of about $83,000, which equates to about 51% in interest saved. And this is based on very modest numbers. Think about those people that are in those $200,000 and $300,000 homes, who by the time they pay off that home are going to pay more like $600,000-$700,000 for that house,
right.
because most of us are committed to that 30 years.
Right.
We see it through, not realizing how much money we're losing. Because technically speaking, once you've signed on the dotted line, you have committed to paying back $700,000 and something thousand, not $300,000. If they add no new debt, they're debt free. No new debt. Under the current way of doing things, they created the money for them to fund their IUL, and you've not taken a dime out of their pocket. You've not changed their budget, period. Because by having a home-based business, that generally, on a general level, you can up your W-4 allowances by 3, and you'll bring home an extra $200 to $500 a month. What if you told them to up their W-4 allowance by 1 or 2, and you put them on a $250 a month IUL? Now you've created money for them. You've not taken a dime out of their pocket. You've created so much value. There's certainly, now that I've grasped this, I'm ready to run with it. I've already got a client set up. We're going to be talking, next week. This is valuable.
Yeah,
It is.
I mean, because actually that is the absolute best way to sell any type of insurance, but more particularly the IUL.
We need you to train us on this.
In fact, you know what? Yeah, 'cause I'm gonna get with you because we're just going to see a client Friday. And that's one of the things I want to be able to start doing, because once they see that and see the true value, more than likely you're going to keep those policies, and that's why I think they have more retention and won't have as many chargebacks. Because once they see that value, you'll keep it.
But you won't have this whole thing just sitting in front of the client, though, right? You won't have that.
You can. You can. You absolutely can. And the way asset management will provide you with your own username and password. When QS2 initially started, all of the agents had their own usernames and passwords. But because QS2 is trying to just more or less make it an easier, streamlined process, they stopped sharing that was an option. But it is still an option. You can actually, I can email you his email address. Y'all set up a time. He'll do a webinar with you. There's even I'll even send you the webinar link. Not the webinar link. I'll send you the link to the video. There's an 18-minute video that you show the client that will sell this for you. And because you've already done their financial needs analysis, you've already gathered the information. That's why I recommend, if you're really going to consult with the client, I recommend you get your own username and password, because you literally can sit right there and show them the recommendation. You don't have to wait on them to be sold over the phone.
Okay.
And you can do it right then and there, print it out, and get there, all the paperwork for the signatures. It's on the contract, I think is 3 pages. It's not long. It's very simple. I have it on my thing. It's a very quick, simple.
Straightforward.
She got your, does she have your information?
My email?
I don't.
I'm about to send it to her right now. She sent me a text. I'm about to text it to her.
I'll forward it to you. And it's that 18-minute video sells it all. But that's why I say do a 2-call close, because if you go the first time, just sit, it's going to take you about a good 30, 45, maybe even an hour to uncover all that kind of information. But when you go back, now especially if you're full-time and you're really wanting to present yourself as a real financial consultant, you can go back and, I now have, these are my recommendations for your family. And they're going to listen to you.
And be able to show them why.
There you go. everything right there. You created so much value, they're going to refer you clients. You're going to ask for them, they're going to give you names. And when they give you names, I was just telling telling Craig and Sharice, when they ask for 5 to 10 referrals, and then backdoor let them know, now you know by you giving me these 5 referrals, that with my company we've got a referral program set up where you can get paid on these referrals. There is a great way if you get 5 sales out of it. There's the 5 training sales. You've just created a national marketing director.
That's true. That is true.
And then if you continue that process, they may even want to get a license. If they don't, look at how much money you've made in the process.
Oh, yeah.
And now we don't have to worry about going out and prospecting ourselves. We can use this base shop that we're setting for ourselves, this foundation, to build our business and grow it.
Right.
Yeah, and grow new agents.
Well, I definitely think that we need to be able to have our leaders, especially now, to get trained up at the speed on this.
Definitely.
We need to get together.
This is a critical component.
Yeah, because
and it's being
that's going to be
overlooked.
and believe it or not, that's what Primerica used. They used that Financial Needs Now. They did a 21-page.
Yeah, that was real extensive. I mean, it
real
was
extensive. But that was the key.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm.
This is your selling tool. And then for the IUL, now, if you help somebody save money on their debt, they're going to buy life insurance from you. It's my opinion that you lead with asset management. That's my personal
Say
opinion.
that again. To do what?
It's my opinion that you lead with the asset management.
You definitely
Because
lead.
everybody in here that has not purchased their internal consumption, I can guarantee you it's a financial reason.
Oh, so it is.
So if you can help them tackle their debt, if you
Right.
can help them to be comfortable and be able to sleep at night, that everything is on autopilot and it's being done, that they can also log in because they get a username and password. They can keep track. They get a personal customer service representative with asset management who is there to walk them through everything. We don't do anything else. That's the thing. After you've done this, you're done. Asset management takes everything from there. You're done. Even if, say you don't even want to get the paperwork process part. You don't even want to do that. You just want to close the deal. Now you let asset management, you hand it off there.
concierge.
And let them take care of it. But you've already created so much value, you know that client's moving forward. You're just letting them know now it's time for you to do your paperwork process and get that all done. And they have a dedicated person that they can call, email, and talk to regarding their account. They can log in, they can see when their bills are being paid. Not to mention they're going to get their statement. I've been doing this aspect of the business on my own. And it's so tiring. To sit, you have to, and I was telling you guys this when we met the last week. It is a laborious task to look at someone's financial statement and have to critically think about how can you help them to eliminate the debt in the fastest time.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the Dave Ramsey program.
Boy, you took, listen, I just get that out too, man. Because, and the reason why, because that's very huge at my church, with that Financial Peace University, and I'm telling you, I just had some problems with that, and I kind of shared that with Theo before, but I'm telling you, this is going to change a lot of people's lives with this here. And once I can kind of start showing just a few people,
Yeah, that's all it's going to take.
they're going to be like, wait a minute, Reggie really knows what he's talking about.